gonna do this tomorrow or whatever. You got stuff off the porch. Oh, they have to go inside the tenant.
Okay, let's see if I can get the sound working. Hey guys, let's see. Is the sound working? I think the sound is working. Awesome. Let's see if I can get the sound working. Hey guys, awesome. Let's see. Is the sound working? It is. So let me. We're gonna echo like crazy for a minute. Sorry. Perfect. Solved the issue. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Today we're going to feed the chickens and talk about the toxic fairy dust. I'll explain what that is in a minute. But first, let me get my shoes on. It's Mr. Rogers time. So, won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Please, won't you be? Please, won't you be my neighbor? Okay, boots are on. Mic is in hand. I've got my cheat sheet. And let's continue on. So, it's Thursday, guys. Welcome. Everyone is having wonderful Thursday so far. It's a beautiful late fall day here. Let's peek up at the temperature. Current temperature is 40 degrees. Or for those that don't practice freedom measurements, that is about 6°C. Still a little bit of snow in the shadows, but other than that, no snow. So nice sky. Couple little leftover chemtrails, but in general, pretty blue. Be happy with the sky today. A nice sky day. So ducks are here, saying hi, ready to be fed. I'm gonna start off by collecting Lisa some water before we go on and continue on with the other chores. So let's describe first what I'm referring to by toxic fairy dust and how to avoid the sick. So first off, when we talk about the sick, we are talking anything out there that is not good for you, things that are going to make you feel bad. So that's going to be eating crappy food, breathing crappy air, being in the vicinity of crappy people, or just anything of that sort. Now, again, you can't avoid it 100%. You can try. Oh, and you can try, but you can't actually avoid it 100%. So we're going to start talking about ways to avoid this toxic fairy dust and how to make it so it's not affecting you. So first, we're going to be talking about physical things. So the actual dust, so the toxic dust. And then we're going to talk more about the toxic fairy dust, and that is the juju that's in the air. That's the vibes that you feel. So we're just going to this probably about a half an hour to an hour show. But tonight, hopefully, I'm going to get more in depth into this. And then I'm also going to be writing an article up on my Substack. So if you're interested in following the articles I write on Substack, just look up X Dr. Firefly. And I'm going to be including a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about how to get healthier. We're going to talk about some cool stuff about different types of plants, the history, the importance, the cultural importance, and the lore behind some really cool plants. So those are the three things. And maybe, if I'm stop being a lazy bastard, I'm going to make a podcast as well. So I really want to dig deep into all of the subjects that I'm going to start talking about. So just keep that in mind. So today, kind of while we feed the chickens, we're just going to gently talk about toxic fairy dust. So first off, toxic just is bad for you. It's the bad juju that you don't want into your body. It's a little different than poisonous. Toxic Toxic is something that sticks with you for a long time, something that gets into your system and makes you not work as well. Where poison is kind of something that comes and goes and can easily be flushed through your system. When I'm referring to toxic, I'm talking about things that stay and kind of get stuck in your body, your soul, your spirit, your mind, your chi, just bad things. So, where to begin? Let's begin with my nifty cheat sheet. So the first thing we're going to talk about is clean versus unclean. So this gets real tricky in this current world that we live in, because we have this, a lot of people will think that, you want your house. I meet a lot of folks that are just like, oh man, I love the smell of bleach. And I love the smell of, let's say like the Glade plugins and such like that. But in general, a lot of that stuff is toxic gick, and you just do not want it in your house. One of the things I like to point out is I know people that put the Glade plugins, especially little mushroom Glade plugins, that like poof little clouds of smelliness into the air. And I think about that, like those chemicals are reacting with our body. We're smelling them, and we're getting hormone signals to our brain. And some people have tricked into thinking that those are things that are good, that your house smells clean, and when your house smells like a particular thing, it means it's healthy and clean. But a lot of times that is really just, the man, big corporations, whatever you want to call it, the elite, tricking us into thinking, tricking our minds, like hacking the different parts of our brain. That means good. So like Glade plugins, for example, if you look at the microplastics in there, you look at the chemical combination that's in there, and then you see how it affects your brain, it makes you dumb. Not just little dumb, like drool on yourself, dumb. I don't know about you, but I don't really have a lot of extra IQ points to spare that I can put some smelly thing in my house that's going to lower my IQ. Maybe you do. That's not me. So one of the first things you do is you want to try to avoid, to the best of your ability, the toxic, smelly stuff that you're putting in your house. So there is an alternative. It's not the best alternative, but it works. And that's high quality incense sticks. So if you need your house to smell a particular way because, I don't know, you live in an old house, or you live in a new house, or you just don't like the smell of your house because you just don't, there are things that you can use. Fresh flowers are a good option. Baking something. I mean, honestly, baking something is a great way to get your house that nice smell. I don't suggest smelly candles because they're doing just about the same thing that the toxic gick is. You're burning the microplastics, or you're burning stuff that's getting into the atmosphere, that's messing with the way the hormones are sending signals to your brain and tricking you. So one of the things that me and Lisa use here, we have birds, so there's a lot of stuff that we can't use. But one of the things that we do is we use a frankincense and myrrh incense. We've researched the incense, making sure that we know what is in the incense that we actually are smelling. And part of the reason we use frankincense and myrrh is in the herbal world, there is some pretty good evidence that it does a good job of attaching to bad things in the air. So what that is can vary. So it's things like certain types of, when somebody coughs, certain types of toxic outgassing that your materials that you bring into your house does. But it does a pretty good job of attaching to those things. I'm getting some water, so I hope that's not too loud. And taking it to the floor, and so something that you can sweep up and clean up. So the other thing I do suggest, if you're talking about a new house or a house and you've got toxic gick in your house and you've got the toxic fairy dust, is you need some plants. So if you are not growing plants in your house, if you do not have like a mother-in-law plant, or some people call it the snake plant, or you don't have any of those, like, I think they're called like popos or something. I don't know. I don't know the scientific names of those plants. If you don't have some plant growing in your house, I don't care. You maybe just have yourself a cactus. You have some type of plant growing in your house. Two reasons. One, it's getting rid of the toxic fairy dust. It's like absorbing the bad stuff in the air and grabbing it and putting it in the soil. Got something working for you. 2, the life chi that plant's putting, definitely getting rid of negative juju, the negative toxic fairy dust that's bouncing around. So the plant, double bonus. But let's go back to tricking yourself about the bleach. So, you know, people walk in and they really like this. I mean, and not just showing you how well they did is tricking us into this smell of bleach. But what bleach really means is death. There's nothing, not good bacteria, not bad bacteria. It's just bad. It's just death. Now, if you're sick or you're in the hospital and you don't want to catch something else, I get it. But in your everyday life, we want to balance out having good bacteria and bad bacteria. So personally, sometime in the last 2 months, I messed up my gut biome. I made a lot of bad decisions. Hey, and just so you know, everybody's going to make bad decisions. It's okay to make bad decisions. It's okay to fall back. Don't be angry at yourself. Recognize what you did. Learn from the experience. Try not to repeat it. And start moving forward on how you can fix it. But, so, we're surrounded by toxic fairy dust all the time. We're surrounded by the toxic gick. We're surrounded by toxic dust. So what else can we do? What else things can we use to solve this issue? Because again, we can talk about forever the bad stuff around us, but the purpose is how are we going to solve this? How are we going to make life better? So, clean versus unclean. I'm going to talk some very controversial stuff here, so be ready. Some very controversial stuff, some stuff that most of you are going to say, Doc, you are a dirty hippie, and that's gross, and I don't want to practice anything that you're talking about. And that's okay. You don't have to listen to me. I'm just telling you my truth, and I'm telling you what I've researched and what I've found to be the best. You be you, because you're the only one living your life, but I'm going to give you some advice. Number 1 is if you're using that shampoo, if you're using that body wash and it's full of colors and you flip over that bad boy and you don't know what half those words mean, you are putting toxic gick on your body and you are doing bad stuff to it. So, I mean, we know I got dreads. We know I've got, you know, you guys, some of you have seen my hair. You guys know I always wear hats anyways too. But I have not put shampoo on my head. Shampoo, I said. I have not put shampoo on my head now in almost 10 years. So, and I highly, highly suggest that you try the shampoo. Some of you are going to say, oh, Doc, I can't do the shampoo. My hair's too greasy, or blah, 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 blah. You're going to give me some lame ass excuse. It's fine. You can hold on to that excuse. I forgive you. But in reality, humans for just about ever didn't put soap into their hair. Now, there's exceptions to this. You get like motor oil, or you get something that's just like really needs to be stripped out of your hair because it's a higher level of that toxic fairy dust. You know, it's up here and soaped here. I get it. That's okay. You know, how do I clean my dreads? I dip my dreads in vinegar. I soak them out, rinse them out really well, clean them like that. So I'm not saying don't clean your hair. I'm saying don't use shampoo. Don't use soap. Don't use things that are going to strip the natural oils from your hair unless your hair has got something else in it that needs to be stripped out over your natural oils. That's something that they can't do. Next, putting soap on your body. Now, are there reasons? There's absolutely reasons. Freedom Grower, there are absolutely reasons why you should put soap on your body. Absolutely. But if you flip over that thing and you see on the back of that label that it's got some crazy coloring, that it's got that like microplastics, that it's got that toxic, you're just like, what the hell is this giant word? I have no idea. I don't like to put things, I don't want my skin, my largest organ on my body, I don't want it absorbing something. I don't know what it is. It's probably going to mess with my brain, mess with my gut, and mess with my reproduction organs. I want all those to work. So, and I want them all to work for a very long time. So I am not going to do those kind of stuff. So it's important. There's plenty of good soap. I prefer homemade soap, especially. I especially like folks that make their own soap, because I can go to them and say, hey, what'd you put in this? Can I see some of those chemicals? I can look at the chemicals. They can tell me exactly what they used in that soap. And I can be like, okay, for this occasion, this soap is really good to be using. Because, a lot of times with your hands are going to be in so much of the toxic fairy dust, the toxic gick, the toxic crap that you don't want on, that you need to figure out a way to get those off. And sometimes you need to use harsh chemicals on your hand, because the chemical that's on your hand is worse for you than that harsh chemical you are to rip it off. So sometimes when it comes to your hands, you just got to make different decisions. But when we're talking everyday general care, you want to pay really close attention to that you put on your body. Now, like I said earlier, some of you might not like this, but I also suggest, unless you absolutely need to, you need to shower less. Now, what that means is that's personal for every individual person. It's what showering less means for every individual person. But your body needs time to build up the natural oils, this level of this extra protection that your body naturally has to put on you. You need to have that. Now, again, different for every person. I can't tell you. I can, in the summer months, I can go almost a month without taking a shower. In the winter months, I'm not outside as much. I'm not letting as much sunshine penetrate my body. Why did my phone just do that? That is weird. Okay. And the sun penetrates my body, and so the natural oils build up. I don't have a smell. Things work out really well. Winter months, I do actually need to shower a little bit more. Mostly I'm wearing clothes, and the clothes actually, because our fabrics are so shitty, the clothes kind of sticks and holds some of the toxic stuff, some of the bad juju, some of the bacteria and such on our bodies. And so sometimes in the winter months, I need to take showers. And taking a shower and rinsing off are also two different things. It's a good idea if you're someone who likes to regularly be bathed in water or showered in water. Just jump in the shower for a few minutes. But don't use anything. Just jump in, like pretend it's like the rain, rub everything down a little bit, and then jump out. Like that's okay. That's not considering a shower. That's just kind of rinsing off. Rinsing off is always a good idea. You want to do that as often as you feel comfortable doing. It's the putting toxic ick. Now, I'm going to put one amendment to the rinsing off and why it could be bad depending on you. If you live in an area, me, unfortunately, because at some particular point they put our water on city water, you do not want to regularly bathe in chlorine. You don't want to regularly bathe in the fluoride. You don't want to regularly bathe in all the municipal dead water that they give you. So keep that in mind. If you're going to regularly shower, if you have spring water, well water, and it's untreated, go at it, dude. That's good. It's like swimming in good water, adding nutrition back to your body. But if you're regular showering in dead toxic fairy dust water, you might want to, limit it. So keep that in mind. So we've covered things like you don't want the Glade plugins. Understand that a lot of the companies out there have tricked us into thinking that what we think smells good is actually really bad for us. And what you put on your body is really important. You should know the kind of crap that you put on your body. Next, let's talk about cooking. So personally, I tell everyone, avoid the Teflon at all costs. I think Teflon is crap. I suggest, listen to me. This is just my suggestion. This is what I prefer to do. I prefer cast iron. So, yeah, Freedom Grower, that is a very good point. So something you have to consider, knowing your water wherever you live. So I say avoid Teflon, go with cast iron. If you can't go with cast iron because, I don't know, you haven't mastered the skill, or you got an electric stove, cast iron's not that great on an electric stove. I'll give the folks that tell me that excuse, I'll agree with that. It's not the best. But then there's other good things that you can use. Copper is fairly okay, especially if it's a copper bottom. But just try not to use the Teflon. Also, this is a tough one because I'm bad at this one, but to the best of your ability, try not to store things in plastic for long periods of time. So I'm not a fan of plastic. I also don't hate plastic, but I think it is way overused, and I think that they cut way too many corners when it comes to how they process plastic, that there's just a lot of bad plastic out there. That being said, I'm going to be using, there's situations where, especially here in the winter, when I'm feeding my animals and moving water from one location to another, I'm going to have to use plastic. So it's something that you want to try to avoid having food or water stored long term in. So short term, it's just what it is. Until you can come up with a better excuse, I get it. We're being practical here. We're not trying to, tell you that you need to give up everything that you're doing, because, if we start off giving up everything we're doing, then the elite win and we're all sad. And that's the idea, is to live a happier, healthier, more luxurious life, not a life of being sad and controlled by them. So, sometimes we just have our situations. So, occasionally having plastic for transportation, for ease of transportation, is not necessarily a bad thing. So I try to avoid putting things in plastic. I definitely do not drink out of plastic cups. So I also don't really drink out of aluminum either, but I like glass. I have a copper cup that I drink some stuff out of. I know it sounds weird to a lot of people, but when I drink beer, and especially if I'm drinking a nice flip, I'll drink a pewter. I'll have a pewter glass, a pewter cup. But understanding that, there's a lot of toxic gick in our everyday items, that it's a good idea for you to do the best you can to try to avoid all of that stuff. Let me get this water filled up. By the way, for those that are wondering, I give my chickens rainwater, so yeah, I think the trick is once you learn to master how to cook on cast iron, especially if you've got a fire, especially if you've got a flame, once you've mastered how to cook on cast iron, I can cook eggs, I can cook pancakes, I can cook a lot of stuff without getting it to stick. So yeah, I can do, that's just some great things. Yeah, I eat silver, so I only use silverware today. So a lot of you guys might not realize that. So I went and I have 2 spoons, 2 forks, and 2 knives of really, really old, high quality silverware. Absolutely love that. That's what I try to use most of the time. I've looked into the silver cups. Currently, I can't afford the silver cups that I would like. That's why I have the copper cup. And by the way, guys, there is some stuff, for those of you that might want to eat out of copper, there is some stuff that you just don't want to eat out of copper. It messes with the taste, and you're pulling more copper than you need out of it. But as a man, you should drink a shot of copper water a day. Copper water is, you get a copper container, you fill it with water, you leave it in there for under 5 hours, you take a shot of that and you pour out the rest. Very, very good. So also, there's also some other good things. There's also some other good wood. If for some reason you really, really can't find silverware, there is some wood. There is some wood silverware that exists out there. If you take good care of it and you know what kind of wood it is, it's okay for that kind of stuff as well. So let's see. Let's go on with my list. We talked about the cleaning and smelly stuff. the toxic fairy dust of sweeteners. So if you're American, you live in a Western world, you are absolutely addicted to sweetness. So if you're an American, you are addicted to high fructose corn syrup and sugar and all of that crazy stuff. So keep that in mind, because our bodies were never built to consume that much refined sweetness. So fruit's one thing, because, you know, fruit is natural. Our body's been eating fruit for a while. But when we've refined it, and we overuse it. Again, I'm not telling you not to use sugar. I'm not crazy. I love sugar. It is a great drug. I'm not telling you to just give that up. As much as we'd all love to be able to just give it up, it's not going to happen. But I'm telling you to try to use the stuff that's refined the least, or to reduce the amount of the stuff you're doing. And again, baby steps, man. So I'm talking baby steps, because I understand that, you know, we're all in a different place. Not everybody can do stuff, and we can all fall back on, you know, once Halloween hits, I am a absolute crazy sucker. I eat way too much. I had way too much sugar to my diet. So, you know, get it. But then the rest of the year, I'm pretty good at cutting back on the sugar. So I grew stevia for the first time this year. I love stevia, by the way. I'm one of the lucky people that the sweet receptors work really well for me, and it doesn't taste crappy or bad to me. I actually really enjoy it. 0 glycemic level. All stevia is doing is tricking your tongue. It's not actually affecting your blood sugar at all. Hence the reason I like it. So I prefer when I get stevia, I will absolutely try the blackberry leaf. My guess is, just because I've noticed with some other stuff, some stuff I don't have the right taste receptors. I don't have the right taste receptors to be able to taste certain things. Stevia works really well for me. Other people, when they taste stevia, they think it's really nasty and gross. So, but since I can grow stevia, I'm pretty happy with how it works out. So, but the reason, why are we talking about all the sugars and such like that? So a buildup of sugar, if you have too much of the sugars, too much of like sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and even just other types of highly processed sugar, what that does is that lowers your body's immunity to be able to do what it needs to do. And it just, I don't know, it's just gross. So yeah, my little sister right there, she does not like stevia. Lisa does not like stevia. They both think it tastes absolutely gross. I think it's amazing. Monk fruit. I also like monk fruit, for those that are just like, Doc, I can't do stevia, man. That's fine. Monk fruit is pretty good. Especially if you can find a monk fruit where it's just pure monk fruit that they've just put in and haven't done bad things to it. Monk fruit. Yeah, I like another one. Also, I'm gonna also just tell you, I've grown sugar beets here before. There's nothing wrong with sugar beets. There's actually nothing wrong with sugar if it's processed properly and you know what it's done. They're not adding shit to it and you're not overusing it. Having a little bit of sugar is good for us, so. Having a sugar, I really like sugar cane too. Unfortunately, I can't grow sugar canes here. It's just a little too cold for me. But again, nothing wrong with a little bit of sugar cane. When I was in Costa Rica, chewing on a sugar cane stalk, eating some sugar cane stuff, man, it was awesome. One of my favorites. But again, can't grow it here, unfortunately. But no worries. That's, you know, can't have everything. Let's get this in. I need to bring out my cheat sheet to see what's next on my on our list. By the way, guys, some of you are new. If you haven't jumped in, I'm going to try to be doing a show tonight So we're going to get more in depth. I want to show some science behind this. We're going to just talk more. We're going to get other people involved. So it'll also be here on D Live and the other places that I stream. So keep that in mind tonight. We're going to do a more show. And then I also probably going to try to put the articles up on Substack. So let's see. Soap, shampoo. This word that I have no, oh yeah, now I know what word it is. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about another thing that, because we all got bad habits. Not judging anybody for any bad habit. I'm not telling you you should or shouldn't do anything. Okay, we're just talking about what I do and my suggestion to try to help you live a more luxurious life. And that's if you need to try, if you consume nicotine, you should be trying to consume that nicotine as the cleanest source of nicotine as possible. You might be wondering, but Doc, what do you mean clean nicotine? So the problem with the tobacco plant is the tobacco plant is absolutely spectacular at cleaning the soil. One of its little tricks is it is good at rebuilding soil and taking the toxic gick out of soil and making the soil better. It's one of the wonderfuls of that plant. It takes a lot of that out because it can actually synthesize a lot of stuff. I don't know if you've ever eaten a tobacco leaf, but it's kind of spicy in your mouth. So what that means is if somebody is using tobacco, if somebody is growing tobacco or extracting nicotine and it is being extracted from a very bad source, someone spraying lots of like Roundup, other types of toxic gick in the soil right there, what that can do, that means that you are consuming a little bit. You're putting it into your lungs or into your bloodstream or into your mouth, depending on how you're using your tobacco, and not bueno. So I'm actually a fan of nicotine as a medicine. I think nicotine is a very powerful medicine that has been we currently don't utilize the proper way. We kind of abuse the medicine, which is fine. Again, I'm in a household where most everybody in my household has smoked at one point or another. And I'm not judging anybody for any habits, good or bad, that you have. We're just kind of talking about solving the issue and just keeping things in mind. So there's a brand of tobacco that I actually think is a good tobacco. It's called Lucy. They make a variety of different things. They source from clean sources. I've looked into this company and they are righteous. They don't make cigarettes though. So if you're going to smoke tobacco, you're going to put it in a pipe, you're going to get cigarettes. At least take the first step and try to get like something like organic cigarettes. I can't think of all the brands right now. I think American Spirits might be one of the better brands. I know they have an organic out there. Again, I'm not trying to promote. I'm not trying to tell you to go out and do this. I'm just saying if you are going out and you're going to do this kind of stuff, you really want to try to get the cleanest, healthiest stuff that you can afford. And again, I understand. Life's tough. You know, they're just like, Doc, I'd love to do that, but damn, that stuff's expensive. I can't just go out and buy healthy stuff. What I do want you to think about is buying healthy now and trying to get that kind of stuff, is it worth not having a medical bill later on? So just to keep in mind, you have to think about now. You do stuff for now to think about later. So, you know, again, not judging anybody on their lifestyle choices. We all make choices. But things that you need to keep in mind. So okay, so yeah, there we go. Jill, I knew Jill knew a little bit about that kind of stuff. So hopefully, you know, again, just an option out there. So yeah, it's not cheap, You know, it's a habit. And anytime there's a habit and they can make money off the habit, the bad people are absolutely going to make money off of that bad habit. So the same thing goes for anything that you do. So if there's, you know, if you're smoking a little marijuana, if you are doing kratom, if you're even doing vitamins, it's a good idea to try to find as much of that stuff that doesn't have toxic gick. Find whatever you can that doesn't have the bad stuff in it, and get it as clean as you can. Like, ask the questions to the manufacturer. Like, what can they tell you about it? Look at the labels and say, you know what, does this make sense? And I get it. When you're saying, hey, I got two choices, and currently not all of them, I can't afford the $11 cigarettes. I'll get it. But you just do the best you can and move in the proper direction. Reduce the amount of toxic ick that you possibly can. You know, that is really the best advice I can have for you. You know, maybe start figuring out ways to, if you're addicted to cigarettes and you know you're not going to give it up. No judge. But you're gonna keep smoking. Maybe find ways to buy organic cigarettes. Maybe find ways to roll your own. Figure out the best possible way to create your own way to stay healthy. I mean, I'm gonna grow some tobacco this year because I found some tobacco leaves. I found some tobacco that grows here in southern West Virginia, and I'm totally gonna grow some because, man, like Mock mentioned earlier about the neurological, makes your brain function better. So, there is when I would go out and do talks or getting ready to do outreach programs or do speeches and that kind of stuff, and I would chew a little bit of the tobacco. Man, I just got this really clean like mental awakeness that was just easy to concentrate and easy to focus on things. So yeah, Freedom Grower, there are, if you guys are looking for ways to quit smoking, there are absolutely great techniques. He's 100% right with the tea technique. It is a great option because a lot of smoking is also the habit, and so, you know, getting over the physical habit and switching to teas. So sorry, I'm thinking in my head to make sure I don't forget anyone over here. So there's moments of quiet because you guys are in the middle, like, you know, chores are kind of most important. It's chores, and then it's chatting with you guys, but feeding the animals, making sure my animals are fed and happy kind of wins out. So let's look at my little cheat sheet. Let's go back to the cheat sheet and figure out where we're going next. So we talked about, so let's do another recap. So we talked about the toxic ick that you put on your body. So you need to be careful with what you put on your body, including your hair, your body, that kind of stuff. We talked about having the smelly stuff in your house and how the, you know, the big corporate man has convinced us that our house should smell a particular way, when we can do something simple as put fresh flowers in our house, open windows. If you live in an area where clean air, you have clean enough air, and there's other little tricks that you can do. We talked about not using Teflon. We talked about not eating the toxic ick food. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the mental fairy dust that can be messing with us. So, and first and foremost is, if you haven't done this yet, guys, and I live in a household where it's on all the time, so I get caught up in it, so I can just tell you firsthand how bad it is. Turn off the damn TV, especially if it's the news. Now, if you want to watch some silly Hallmark Channel stuff, I'm not telling you should, but if you want to watch some silly Hallmark Christmas stuff, or you want to get this, like, you just need that, like, the good things. You should be watching things, if you're gonna watch TV, you should be watching things that are making you, that you're learning from. They're making you feel good, they're making you feel inspired, or they're making you feel like you want to make a difference. So if you are watching something and it's doing those things to you, it's it's pushing you forward. It's driving you forward for some reason. It's making you want to do good things in the world. It's making you happy, just feeling good and building up your confidence or building up your ability. Or you're watching it because, like, you know what? I want to watch those people. I don't mind watching those people talk about something if you're just, it's uplifting a little bit. That's okay. But if you're getting angry and there's nothing you can do about it, it's making you feel helpless. It's making you feel scared. It's making you feel just riled up. And you need to turn that off, because that toxic ick is messing with your brain. It's making you dumber, and it's making you not be able to achieve what you're going to do after you're done watching that TV. I like watching the cooking channel sometimes because they cook something and I'm just like, that would be fun to try. Or I even like watching some of the building stuff that they do, even though some of it might feel staged. The simple fact is watching someone build something and figuring out how they, that was great, guys, sorry. And figuring out how they built it, that's inspiring to me. And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's see if I can do something like that. Those are fine things to be watching on TV. Or if you just really just need to, maybe you're one of those people that really likes the mystery shows. And they're not too gory, but they're more like they're challenging your brain to help problem solve and figuring things out. That's my least favorite on that mix, but at least that's something that you could possibly consider. So I need to move you guys. I'm going to move you guys over here because it'll just be a little bit better if I move you guys over here, and then I won't have to worry about them knocking everything down. So those are things. Other thing, once a day, you should give yourself a few minutes of whatever you call meditation. So it might be sitting and doing a little prayer. It might be just sitting outside and letting your mind just listen to the birds or listen to your animals. And just getting that good vibe of nature that you're hearing. It could be just having your favorite music on and just listening to that music and just feeling the good waves. The idea is you want something that's going to stimulate the positive that life is good vibe in your world. Because there's a lot of times every day, there's a lot of times in the day that we just get caught up and we think that things are just, that the day's just bad. And don't get me wrong, when you're sick, easy to think about life sucking. But find that simple joy every day. And the more you do that, the more that mental toxic ick just kind of slips away. And again, I know, easier said than done. Understand. I'm just telling you to try, because a lot of the stuff we're talking about, it's all about trying. Can't do it every day. Don't be hard on yourself. Little every day. Absolutely freedom. I am blessed by the bounty every day, even on days that I don't feel well, even on days that the world seems to be doing everything against me. I'm still blessed and thankful of the bounty of every day. Every day is a blessing. Every day is a gift. Every day is awesome, even if it doesn't feel awesome at the particular moment. And this is why the bunnies are wondering why they have why they're eating seeds. And the bunnies are eating seeds because I put the wrong food in the bunny house. So I'm gonna have to change out the feeds real fast. So silly me. So I don't know if you guys meditate. If you do, you should keep doing it. If you don't, I highly suggest learning to meditate, whatever that means to you. So I have a variety of different ways that I meditate. But meditation, being inside your own head for a few minutes is absolutely personally I think wonderful. So sometimes I like to just sit up on the mountain and just be quiet, meditate. Other times I like the being directed, the forced direction of meditation. So I have a it's a I think it's a portable EKG. No, ECE. I don't know. It's one of the things. It's got brain things on it. It adjusts your brain waves, and there's guided meditation with it. And it's a cool piece of tech that you know, it's kind of fun because I also know where my brain waves are with that. So it's cool to be able to see how what my brain's actually doing based off of that piece of tech. So I, as a nerdy techie dude, I really like silly pieces of technology that tell me things that I can't currently know on my own. So but yeah, meditation. So what else? Something else. So if you are in a good, strong, committed relationship, and you love your significant other, you should absolutely be regularly having as regular sex. And I point this out because it's important, because you know, you hear a lot of folks, especially in the incel world, and you hear a lot of folks in the other thing, that it's good for semen retention. But I actually think that that's really only useful if you're single. If you're in a good, strong, committed relationship, there's so much more benefits to being regularly intimate with your partner that it is way overlooked. You get too many. I'm sorry, but getting advice from some dude that can't pick up chicks on what they should do with their body, that's up to you. I'm not gonna listen. I'm gonna tell you that you should be regularly enjoying you and your partner's body as long as you're in a good, strong, committed relationship. You should be doing that often. There's plenty of studies. We'll talk about this more tonight, but there's plenty of studies out there that show that it keeps your immune system functioning, and it's just all around better for you. Yes, it's just something about the energy exchange too. There's just something spiritual about a good energy exchange with another person. And again, that could be maybe it is one of those things, like it's just a peck or a kiss or a hug, or you know, some other type of activity. Maybe it is just something as simple as that. But having that, if you're in a committed now, if you're not in a committed relationship, that's a whole different story. We can talk about that too again later tonight, and the toxicity of what can happen by watching things on a screen too long, or you know, the negative of getting caught in a bad habit like that. But commitment, not a bad habit. Are you feeding the chicken? What are you doing now, Lisa?
What are you doing? What did you do?
Everybody in here's fed. No one outside's fed, and I'm getting ready to give everybody inside water.
You didn't give these?
I didn't give those water. No one has water. Everybody's been fed.
Bunnies haven't been fed.
Bunnies outside have not been fed.
I need to water everybody in the bunnies.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay. Perfect.
Do I need a scooper?
You probably need a scooper. So there's all the waters in there. I'll get you some more in just a minute if you need it. Awesome. Okie dokie.
Did you give them anything yet?
I gave them a little bit. If you want to give them some more, it won't be a problem. Okay, so speaking of all that, reminded me that I need to go in the house and I need to grab my Nalgene bottle because I want to get some living water out of things. Now, so yes, I have Nalgene bottles, even though I do not like plastic. But like I said, short-term storage, short-term location to bring plastic from here to there, I'm perfectly okay with. So what else? So we've talked about what other important thing. I do think that you need to, I personally think that more of us need to be in line with our own unique spiritual beliefs. So if you're Christian, you should pray. You should have a good fellowship with other Christians. You're Buddhist, you should do your Buddhist thing. As an animist, I just need to be around nature, and I need to feel the power that nature is giving me, and understanding the love that there is just in the bountiful of what Source has created, and the beautifulness of everything that exists, from the rocks to the trees to everything, and just spend time in the fellowship of that, and be around other people that are just give me a lot of good juju. Yes, Fernando, we're going to go in this door, and the doggies are probably going to be in here waiting for us. And they are not, so great. Okay, so I'll get this Nalgene bottle right here. Ugh. So, got it. Back outside. So, by the way, guys, we're gonna, for the next little while, I'm gonna be doing themed the days, or maybe the week. I don't know how often we're gonna be sticking with themes. So we're gonna be talking about. So we'll talk about it during the Let's Feed the Chicken show. We'll be talking about it during the Evening D Live shows, and we'll be talking, and we'll be, I'm gonna be trying to unify the message on everything, because we got a lot of messages out there, and I want to reach it out to as many people as possible. No, Mock, that's actually that's my new Instagram, not the one that was banned. That's my new Instagram, because for some reason they let me make another one. So that's my non-banned Instagram, by the way. That's why it says 37 behind it. So, because, not letting the man tell me what I can and can't do. So you want to ban me, I'll just create a new one. So yeah. Oh wait, by the way, guys, let's peek over here. I'm gonna show you the still got some bees. So they're pretty happy. So I have some food over I have some food over there. So if they want to look for some extra food, they can go over into this one. But I'm happy to see that these guys are rocking it. Everybody's pretty happy, cleaning the front door, doing their thing. So good to go. Okay, let's go. Oh, you want to see the my awesome, spectacular jerry rig of the hive is wrapped. There's some styrofoam inside, and then those are the that's the silver that you get from like those places that drop your food off at your house, or in this situation my dad gets some of his medicine in the mail, and so it's wrapped around that. And then I have this because the wind blows this way, the sun penetrates this way, and then I don't really have a whole lot on that side because I just didn't put a whole lot on that side because I'm a slacker. Anyways, so that's for those that might want to know more about what I was doing with bees. So the evening show, I'm not 100% sure it'll be up on YouTube, but it will be up on Rumble. Again, guys, X-Factor Firefly, if you want to follow me just about everywhere. So the reason it's not up on YouTube is because occasionally I do things on YouTube and they seem to hit me with copyright strikes for weird stuff, and I don't quite understand it enough. So yeah, Rumble, everybody else doesn't seem to do that to me. So that's where it will be most of the time. We can get this down here. Do I have a link tree? I absolutely have a link tree. So I don't know if I have a link tree on here, a way on here, but I do have a link tree that links to all of my stuff. So get that water flowing around a little bit. So I I think my link tree is just X Dr. Firefly. I do need to put it so it shows up in the little comment section right here, so it just pops up like everything else does. That makes sense. Good job, Mock. Thank you for reminding me that. I need to put the link tree in there. So I'm gonna give this water bottle a nice little. It's been sitting on the counter for a bit. Get this a nice little cleaning before I drink the spring water here. Next year I'm going to be redoing. We're going to be redoing this spring, so that it is being captured into some other types of things. But right now this is just the easiest way to capture the spring water. We're also going to be hopefully, if all works out well, next year we're going to, in 2024, we're going to be putting in an artesian spring. I got all the tools to do it. I have some pretty good ideas. I'm actually probably going to do it just right behind me. And hopefully we can get some water bubbling right out of the ground. Some of that clear gold. Okay. So you can't quite see because it's not the clearest bottle, but little irony today, but you know, yeah, who cares? Who cares about some iron? Probably good for me. Yeah, the problem is, Mock, I don't get a lot of sun in this spot. So the sun does cross behind me up here, but like, so that would be about 10 o'clock. We got 11, 12. Right now the sun is over there. So I'm not going to get as much sun as I would need for the solar panel right here. And this isn't the best place for the spring. It's just where it's at. So, but it's a good idea putting the aerator over here. I put this thing on lot because the leaves were regularly falling in there. So, you know, I could maybe put one on the telephone pole right there, run the wire down, maybe put a battery down there and run it over here and power it like that. It's a good idea. Something I have to think about. Good project to think about for next year. Well, not muffle too much. Didn't realize that this was muffling me. So, okay, let's go for a little walk out in the field before we head in. There is my boneyard over there, where I keep all my junk, because you know it doesn't have a boneyard. I haven't. I need to redo all my free pipe that I have. This is going to be used for my my water bank when we start generating our own power by using gravity and water and the mountain. Yeah, Freedom Grower. You might want to think about. I'll send you a link. I'll DM it to you on Discord if you still use Discord. But it's a really cool where they're using mushrooms, mycelia, for insulation. So if you are not part of the permies.com group, go to that website, permies.com. Awesome group of information there. But their people are using mycelia. They're growing their own insulation, and it's a really, really cool concept. Something that I would really like to do in the future, because being able to grow your insulation. So yeah, I will send you. I'll find the link and I'll zip you the, I'll send you a link to the article, and I think I have got all the plans for it. I'll just zip that to you on DM on Discord. So you guys can see, beautiful day, some snow in the distance, just a lovely, lovely day to be outside. By the way, guys, if you guys saw me catch the field on fire last March, this is the area that I caught on fire, so you can't even tell. The only thing that you really know that I did it is there is a lot of mullein here. So we have all this mullein, which is gonna be awesome for next year. This stuff's really good for lots of things, not just because it looks pretty, but you can smoke it and have some asthmatic benefits to it. You can make teas out of it, just lots of benefits. So very happy to see that my silly mistake has transformed into having something cool. Oh, mock. So what I'd like to do is, let me see if I can zoom in and show you. I've thought about, if I could get enough light, I could probably just add one. I could probably just add one of these to that, because it does, when it gets light, when it gets enough sunshine, I'll put it right here so it gets a little bit more sunshine. When it gets enough sunshine, it squirts up. It does a pretty good little squirt up, and maybe enough to make that work. So, well, guys, I think it has been an hour, and I am trying really hard. So I am trying. By the way, guys, want to join the Discord? There's the link. If you're not part of my Discord, not part of the cool community where we talk about a little bit of everything, from gardening, farming, to conspiracy, to fixing the world. So, yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. I was just saying that's just kind of what I have sitting out there. It does an okay job. I do need to bring that one in some point. But anyways, guys, I've got some cool stuff. Some of you guys know some of the stuff on the horizon. If you're not part of the Discord, definitely jump in. We talk about lots of stuff. We solve the world. We play video games. We play board games. You know, just a lot of fellowship there. A lot of people doing a lot of cool stuff together. Just an all around good time with like-minded people. So anyways, tonight, let's say somewhere between 9 and 10 o'clock Eastern time, we'll be doing a show. X-Actor Firefly on most things. And I will, well, it just, I guess, it decided it was gonna be done. Anyways, I hope to talk to you guys later. It's Doc. Adios.